Is this going to protect from rats or squirrels or crazy weasels? Probably not. However, it will protect from zombies and cougars. Hey guys, Jackalope and Thunderbunny here from Duly Prepared. So we mixed things up a little bit today. It's Saturday afternoon and we didn't have a lot going on. In fact, Thunderbunny here was kind of crashed out on the couch, just having a nice lazy day. And I had a little bit of work to do this morning, so I was running around in town. So when I got home, I kind of lost my steam and was trying to come up with something to do. So I yelled over at Thunderbunny. I said, hey, get your shit together. We've got 10 minutes before we bug out. We're gonna take off. And she looked at me like, what are you talking about? And I said, hey, grab your bug out bag or your get home bag, and you got 10 minutes to get whatever clothes on you want to wear. We're gonna go, and we're not coming back tonight. So we took off, and now we are up in the mountains. We've been on the road for about 30 minutes. The idea is that we had to leave our home environment in a hurry and with no plans to return. So we got a quick little shelter up, really basic lean-to shelter here, sort of A-frame style. What we've got here is just basically 2 logs, and this is my AquaQuest tarp, great piece of kit, and a ridge pole here, which is a larger, probably 4, maybe 5-inch diameter log here. So what this does, guys, this gives us good amount of space. We are expecting some rain this evening. This will give us a pretty good dry space. It's real hard to get a super dry shelter out here when it really rains. A lot of trees, a lot of drip lines. We're on sloped ground, water runs downhill. So, you know, hard to get a real dry shelter. But what we'll do is we'll kind of button down the edges a little bit. Meanwhile, while I was building a shelter here, Thunderbunny went and started gathering some firewood. She got a good start. We need about probably 3 times that much.
Oh, okay.
Then this fire pit here that Hunter's left, she tore it apart and she built up the back. So you can see the back is taller than the front. The idea behind that is to radiate that heat back towards our shelter. So isn't she just the cutest damn thing? Sitting here packing stuff in, building fire pits.
I'm trying.
We'll walk down the creek towards this meadow here. We've got good water flow. I think what I'm going to do is filter some water, get out the Catadine water filter. Go ahead and filter some water in here. Of course, we packed water. However, I think it's a good practice to do a little filtering. And this is this meadow out in front of us and this kind of shitty old dirt road. that we came up here. Good defensive position. We've got timber behind us with no real access to it. The only access road is over there on the other side, kind of out there. Very defensible between the two of us. Some well-placed rounds and some thoughtful planning. I think we should be able to defend this spot if the wild marauders or zombies come. So we're gonna get after this, guys. It's getting dark on us. We're both hungry. We want to get some water filtered. We need a lot more firewood, so we're gonna keep on trucking. All right, so Thunderbunny's got to process some firewood pretty quickly here because we're running out of daylight. So she has got her silky, I believe this is the Super Excel 21. It's a 7-inch, 7.5-inch silky saw. One-way pull, one-way cut. Great saw. It'll process firewood pretty quickly. So she's going to go out and cut some 3-inch by probably 16-inch long, 24-inch long chunks to try to build up our firewood pile before it gets dark on us. So go get them, Thunderbunny. What I'm doing right now is I'm cutting a couple small logs here to tuck in the back side of the shelter, and there's two reasons for this. Number one, you can see I've already done it on this side here. I stuck that log back here. It's totally unnecessary structurally, so the integrity of the structure is fine without these things. However, this does two things. One, when it rains tonight, which it's supposed to, the water will run down the roof, and rather than running right down off the back of the tarp and then down the slope of the hill to Thunderbunny and myself, the water will run down here. It kind of forms a gutter. It runs it down off to the side and away from us. So shit still rolls downhill, water still flows downhill. However, if we get it out around us, the bulk of the water from the large surface area of the roof here is going to be ran off to the side. So number two reason is I can grab any sticks here, like this guy, break them in half, and real easily pound these sticks in behind this log. Now, what's the purpose of that? Well, let me tell you. First of all, Thunderbunny doesn't like critters crawling around on her in the night. So is this going to protect from rats or squirrels or crazy weasels? Probably not. However, it will protect from zombies and cougars a little bit. It'll slow them. Animals, including ourselves, are less apt to go through the side of a structure like a tent than we are through the door, which is why we use doors and the easy way in and out of things. So by adding some sticks there, it's just a little bit of preventative maintenance, if you will, to try to dissuade animals from coming in next to our heads. Okay guys, some of you are probably thinking, all right, that's a little carried away. First of all, Jackalope, you could have put the tent down to the ground or the tarp down to the ground in the back. Second of all, maybe this is overkill. Really guys, this little prison bar effect here, if you will, is more or less to pacify Thunderbunny from the animals coming in. One more thing that's important to note is this is also here to protect me. Let me tell you how. So Thunderbunny happens to suffer from what most doctors call stage 5 thundering sleep farts. And this here vent, if you will, is also to protect me and allow the gas to escape, not only from Thunderbunny's mummy bag, but from our shelter in general. So guys, really it's a selfish move. I'm just trying to protect myself here. Here's a shot of Thunderbunny collecting tinder here. She's getting some dry grass. It's that with some pine needles will work pretty well. She's actually never used a ferro rod, so she's gonna use her ferro rod tonight and learn how to use it to get a fire going. So she's getting some good tinder to work with.
Hey guys, so we have our shelter all set up, our fire pit's ready to go, we're ready to get a fire started, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about kind of what we have here. So Jackalope has his bug out bag. It has pretty much everything that really we would need to survive out here. I don't yet have my bug out bag put together, but I have a get home bag. I travel for work a lot. I'm on the road, and so it's mainly intended to have all the supplies that I need to be able to get me home within about a 3-day time frame. So how we're gonna set up in here is we're gonna have our bags over on the left side, and then we're gonna kind of cuddle together, have the heat from the fire. It'll reflect off the tall backness of the rocks that we set up here. But we'll kind of cuddle in that nice little slopey spot under there. Oh, we're just gonna cuddle ourselves warm all night.
Thunderbunny here has never used her ferro rod before. So this is a ferrocium rod. She's got a pretty burly one. I think we got these, I don't know, maybe on Amazon. They're pretty big, pretty thick. They're about a 1/2 inch in diameter. And then she's got her SOG, her SOG Seal Strike knife, which is perfect. Kind of multi-function knife for what she's typically going to use. Now, bear in mind, this all came out of her get home bag. So she doesn't have a bug out bag put together yet. Her get home bag is designed to get her home when she's traveling for work, which she travels generally within about 100 miles of our home. And so most of the stuff in her bag is pretty multifunction. So for example, the Seal Strike, it's a decent all-around knife. It could be used as a fighting knife, pretty decent fighting knife, multiple kind of grip points there. It's got a solid tang that goes all the way through it. So a good glass breaker, bust somebody in the forehead if they piss you off kind of knife. And it's serrated, so it can chop through a belt easy, things like that. More or less though, for what she needs it for, it suffices. She's going to use that to strike the ferro rod, which again, she's never actually gone through this process before. We actually just scrape the coating off the outside of the ferro rod so it'll actually work. So she's done a really good job at collecting tinder. So what do we have for tinder here? What's this first pile over here?
So we have some dry grass over here that I went and collected, and then a bunch of old pine needles, or dead pine
Nice.
needles, and then just some small sticks. So once I get it going, then I can throw the sticks on top.
Right on. So why don't you go ahead and kind of put the stuff in there, make your little bed of tinder how you think you should.
Okay.
And I'll kind of walk you through it if you need any help. But in true warrior fashion, I highly doubt that Thunderbunny is going to need a whole lot of help with this. So we're operating under the light of our headlamps here. As you can see, it's pretty dark around us right now. We got our wood pile over here. It's kind of one of those things where we started Thunderbunny, got our wood together while I was building a shelter. We like to use each other's strengths and work together as a team. So she was able to collect wood. She did a great job. The Silky did a good job cutting that stuff. And here we go. She built this fine fire pit as well. It's a nice rock wall back there to reflect some heat. So there's your little tinder nest, if you will. It's not too bad.
You do all right?
Yeah, so you're going to want to just try to kind of aim for that dry grass in the front. Once you get a spark going in there, you're going to have to kind of get down close and blow that baby. So don't catch your hair on fire.
Yes, no.
So the ferro rod, you're going to want to get down close to the fire. You're going to pull the rod through the knife rather than fling the knife towards the fire. So get right down in there, babe. Get real close. So instead of going with your kind of speed attempt here,
Okay.
let's maybe fatten this up a little bit here. Get a nice little kind of ball going here. It feels real soft right in here with this dry grass. So what I want you to do is almost plant your hand on the ground and your knife hand. Get right down in there and give that a shot. Let's see what happens.
It's hard to hold.
You'll get it. There you go. Right up in there. All right, you want to give a break for a minute?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get it, though. Thunderbunny's a warrior. It might seem at times that I could do more to help Thunderbunny out, but I'm a firm believer that to master any process, you must first understand the process. Thunderbunny's a warrior. She never gives up. she eventually always learns and hones her skills every time she struggles, just like the rest of us. Okay, so let's do take 3. So I'm going to tell you guys what I think is going on here. Okay. This tinder bundle is pretty flat right now, so she's kind of been going at it. And it's a mix of dry grass, which is actually really a decent tinder if it's dry, which this feels really soft, really dry. It should be a good tinder. And then some pine needles, which pine needles make a decent tinder. They're not going to take a spark and just fire right up like dry grass is, but they're a good kind of median to have in there. So what I'm going to do is sort of bunch this stuff up a little bit tighter, ball it up more. And then I'm going to kind of wallow out sort of a soft spot here. That's mostly the dry grass stuff here. So I think if you put your knife hand right down in this hole, and you really are trying to aim the sparks into that thing. So give it your best shot there.
Like that?
Yeah. Remaining calm and being willing to adapt our technique is the winning ticket every time.
This is not easy.
Okay, let's try something else. Why don't you flip your knife around?
Okay.
And use the serrated, just the bottom of the serrations right here. Okay. So pull that against that. That's really going to give you some pretty heavy sparks. Make sure you're on the shiny part of the rod. Hold the knife at more of maybe a 90-degree angle.
Like
there
that.
You go. Yeah. Don't cut your fingers off.
That seems scary.
I'd hate to have to cauterize them. There you go. That's throwing some good sparks now. Okay. Take 5. There you go. There you go. Keep it going. Kind of roll it over on top of itself. Don't lose it there. Kind of just grab the whole bundle, pick it up, and kind of turn it upside down real gently. There you go. Now get these sticks on there. Right on the flames. Okay, now you're going to kind of want to bunch it together before it all burns up. Keep it real tight. Hey, we got fire. Good job, girl. All right, so it's still a little sketchy there, so you're gonna want to get some backup firewood ready to go on it. We almost have a fire going here. So go ahead and get that wood on there. Oh, like a bunch of it. It'll go out on you faster than you think. Starting to lose it a little bit. You're doing good. There you go. Keep piling right on there. You got it. Bam. So now she's still got a lot of tinder underneath this thing. That might be kind of hard to see here, but there's a lot of tinder underneath there. So keep some wood on there, and then what we can do is get some more wood on there, and we can kind of lift this thing up. That'll let some airflow underneath that tinder, and then we'll get a great big flame kind of shoot up from the bottom. It'll really get this baby cooking here. Good job, babe.
Thanks, babe. My first fire.
It is now evening time of our random bug out adventure. For supper tonight, we have the infamous Mountain House chili mac with beef and
my favorite.
Thunderbunny's favorite, chicken and rice. Or rice and chicken. Here's Thunderbunny in here, having a nice cup of coffee. We're having a good time. We've got a good fire going here. Got our shelter going. Got the trusty 590 here, ready to protect us from the big bad wolf. And we're pretty cozy and set up here. Midnight here now at our chosen bug out homestead. Thunderbunny has fallen asleep probably an hour ago. This is a prime example of a thought materialized minutes later. You know, I didn't really know how Thunderbunny would react to the random happenstance that we find ourselves in here this evening, but before she went to bed she shared that she really has enjoyed herself, and that just really warms my heart that we're able to do something so simple and so basic, so primal, you know, duly prepared as a lifestyle for us. It's a matter of being prepared at all times to be able to do things like this at a moment's notice. And you know, I think we live that lifestyle on the premise that we want to be prepared if something should go awry or the need should arise that we need to quote unquote bug out. And you know, really maybe it's just a weekend that comes up where we've both been working a lot and haven't been able to spend a lot of time together or get out much at all. And the fact that we are indeed duly prepared enables us to do things like this at a moment's notice. My wish for the world would be that every person at some point gets the opportunity to sit around a fire such as this. I truly can't imagine another way of living. Good morning, Thunderbunny.
Good morning.
Oh man, so it's morning time and Thunderbunny's getting our fire going again here. It's not real chilly. It's probably, I don't know, 40 degrees, maybe even 45 degrees this morning. The sun hasn't hit our campsite yet, but a little fire going. As you guys will learn, here's our little shelter. As you guys will learn, Jackalope does not do well in the morning without coffee. So first thing I'm gonna do is get some coffee brewing.
It is time for Jackalope and Thunderbunny to have coffee. We got the fire going again. A little assisted help from Jackalope once we couldn't get the tinder to light from the coals, but he's got more blowing strength than I do, so we got it up and going. We both have one of these jet boils. They're incredible. They boil water in about 90 seconds, I think, but we use them for our coffee, for our food, pretty much any chance that you need some hot water. He also has his stainless steel. I think it's from Pathfinder School. He's got a mug with the partnered mug cup. Clearly I'm not awake yet. But we both had Nalgene bottles, and we learned that in the wintertime they freeze and they can crack. So we found out that if you do stainless steel, even if you wake up in the morning in the winter and your water's frozen, you can just put it close to the fire and it'll warm it right back up, thaw it out, and then you have some fresh water again. Versus the Nalgene, you're kind of up a creek without a paddle, trying to figure out how to defrost, thaw your water. So on that note, we're gonna wait for coffee and wake up a little more.
We're sitting here having our morning coffee, trying to wake up. Thunderbunny got us a nice little fire going here, and I just want to talk about kind of how this how this experience went. This is our first time doing this and filming this, where we just bug out on the spur of the moment. And so there was literally no planning whatsoever in doing this. That's the whole idea of bugging out, is something happens, you got to go, and you got to go now. So you know, I think this is probably a little more natural for me than for Thunderbunny. But I mean, I guess what we could talk about is what immediate things do you see that would make this easier in the future, as far as being prepared to just bounce at any minute?
I had my go bag, and that was pretty much the thing I got when you told me 10 minutes to go. I think I was laying on the couch in a dress, and so I got up and threw some jeans on, you know, t-shirt, sweatshirt, and pretty much was ready to go. Had our little mountain house meals, and we got a couple of those to get us through a few days before we would really need more food, go find food. I don't know, but otherwise I think you've prepped my get home bag well enough that at least for a night it's been perfect. I mean, it's intended to last 3 days,
so that kind of says it right there, guys. You know, you don't have to have a real substantial, crazy outfitted get home, or bug out bag rather, to go out and survive. I'm just kind of thinking through, the Thunderbunny actually doesn't need anything that I brought with me in my bug out bag. So everything in her get home bag has been fine for her. I mean, she's got her sleeping bag, she's got food, she's got a means to cook that food, she's got a jet boil, she's got multiple ways to make fire. As you saw last night, she made her first fire with the ferro rod. That was pretty cool. But she's got a full fire kit. I mean, she's got 3 or 4 ways to make fire if she needs to. So she's got a tarp, she's got a Noah's tarp, so she's got shelter, she's got a sleeping bag, she's got food, she's got water, she's got a bladder in her bag, and I believe a Nalgene bottle as well. Multiple cutting tools, she's got her pistol, and clothes to keep her warm. So just in her tiny little get home bag, she has everything she needs really to survive. With that said, she probably falls on the lower spectrum of the skill sets when it comes to, you know, knowing how to survive in a forced environment like this. However, with some real basic education, some real basic training, she could do just fine with what she has in her get home bag. The difference between her get home bag and my bug out bag is I can do all of the above, but a hell of a lot easier and a whole lot more comfortably. And there's some convenience things in there to help me, so I don't have to make everything as I go, which I'm a maker and I like to create things. But you know, guys, in a survival situation, if you really do have to bug out and you just have to go, anything you can do to make it easier on yourself, especially in the first few days, first week, first 2 weeks, while you're getting established and kind of setting up camp and dealing with water and getting to the routine of things, anything that you have with you ready to help you out will help you a lot. For example, I carry, 3 or 4 snares. That means 3 or 4 less traps that I have to build by hand to get food. I carry a tiny little, a pen fishing pole and a fishing reel. I could make that stuff out here. However, it's tedious, it doesn't work as well. And this gives me the opportunity to fish right out of the gate. I just open my bag, grab my little rod, put it together, say a little prayer, and throw a line in the water. So stuff like that is convenience, really. You know, long term, you're gonna come up with that stuff. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it work. But it is nice to have that in a bug out type bag. But for the most part, for 10 minutes notice and 0 plans, I literally had, I don't know where I came up with the idea yesterday afternoon to just go, but we just went, you know, and it's been great. I mean, it's a decent night's sleep, fairly comfortable. We did have some things in the Yukon that just kind of happened to be there. Like there's always water in there. Jenny's on a sleeping mat here, like Thermarest. You know, that was in the Yukon.
An extra blanket.
Other than that, yeah, there was a little extra blanket I threw under my sleeping bag because I'm not sleeping on a pad. There's a little down stuffable blanket. Other than that, guys, everything here came out of our bags. I did grab a shotgun on the way out the door. You know, we had 10 minutes to grab what we needed. I think I grabbed a shotgun and a jacket, and that's about it. And I believe I have a jacket in the Yukon, and there's definitely one in my bug out bag. I just kind of wanted something handy. So, bless you.
Thank you.
Anyways, that's it. I mean, it's not rocket science, guys. If you have some basic skills, basically you can make shelter, you can make fire, then you have water and some kind of food, you're gonna be fine. So my advice would be just go out and do it. And for you guys out there that have another half, you know, get them to try it once. Lucky for me, Thunderbunny does this stuff for breakfast. She's a warrior. She's down for whatever. And she kind of just goes with the flow. And I know a lot of women are not like that. However, I do really think that, you know, given the chance, it might be enjoyable. You know, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think one trip I'd like to attempt to make the shelter. I mean, I'd like to switch our strengths and get me better at some of the other skilled things that I don't know how to do. I mean, when we first showed up, I was trying to look at trees and figure out how to hang the tarp from there versus building like this kind of A-frame. But once you started, I knew what you were doing. Being able to get the fire going with the ferrule rod was just really cool. I'd never done it before. I have a lighter, I have the fire kit in my bag, but a great process to start and learn how to start doing those things. I mean, and just seeing our happy little homestead for the night, I think is just it's a lot of pride for accomplishment and putting something together to get you through a night.
Yeah, there is a good sense of accomplishment for sure. I mean, I think we left, I don't know what time we left. It was
probably like 4:30.
Yeah, 4:30 in the afternoon. I think we got up here about 5:15. Probably finally found our little spot, 5:30, something like that. And guys, we had everything. We had the shelter up, the fire pit ready, the firewood gathered, our stuff all unpacked, our bed set up by about 7:30. So a couple leisurely hours, not really working real hard.
I don't know about you, but I feel like I worked hard cutting wood.
Okay, so maybe we worked hard, but you know, not overly exerting ourselves. And this is what we came up with. You know, we have a super basic shelter. This is about bare bones. I'm a building contractor, so I build things for a living, and we have a special projects company, so we build cool shit. And so given another hour and a half, I probably would have had some kind of funky little cabin on stilts going out here. That's kind of my MO is shelter building is my thing, because I like to create and I like cool shit. So, but you know what? This works. We didn't get rained on last night. We thought we were going to, so that's always nice. I'm not gonna bullshit. It sucks, you know, sleeping in the rain, no matter what your shelter is. Unless you build a small cabin, then it's not so bad. But Anyway, guys, that's, just kind of wanted to recap how this whole thing went and try to think of anything that we really were lacking. And for the most part, I think we're good to go. Until next time, Jackalope and Thunderbunny out.